Hello, it's Big Daddy Fatzoid here, sliding in with something so spicy you might need a drink to wash this shit down. No, but seriously, this deck is very fun to play. But I'm going to warn you right off the bat, it's a turn one deck. So if you keep playing second, you keep going second, it's going to feel worse than sliding your meat into a blender and flipping on that switch. Going first, you want your end board to be Despia and Quaritos, Thunder Dragon Colossus, and Dramaturge of Despia with the field spell. Now, you're most likely going to have the field spell anyway if you're using this. So, that being said, this will give us good protection. You want them all in defense mode too, so you don't get blown out by Lightning Storm. But that being said, they can't go over you because you have Cortis there. You have a way of at least interacting with their cards when they special summon from the extra deck. Once per turn, you can negate the effect of the card with Dramaturge. And Colossus, there's some decks you just straight up lose the Colossus. This is why the card's limited to one. Think about that for a second. Why is this card limited to one? It's because the card's insanely broken. And yes, there are some decks in the format that can get around it because they send cards to the graveyard. But any deck that's going to be sending cards to their hand, adding cards to their hand, and hey, guess what? Alibur, the Jester of Despia, that, a lot of people are playing this card right now. Guess what? Adds cards to the hand. This card prevents it. You go first, you shut down them searching anything in their deck. Let's go over some of the cards that you guys might not be familiar with. These cards we have on the field are just ways of banishing cards in our graveyard while getting a monster on the field to perhaps going to Predaplant or something. If you have Thunder Dragon Matrix in the graveyard and you have nothing in your hand, you can banish it from the graveyard and then get the Thunder Dragon Matrix's effect from the banish effect, which will add another one to your hand, and you get a monster in the field. So it's a win-win. It's just one of each. I don't think you need more than that. Aloof Lupine. This card is awesome with Thunder Dragons because if you banish a Thunder Dragon in your hand, so you could do Matrix, you could do Thunder Dragon, you could do Thunder Dark. Like, ideally, you want to be doing cards that will give you an actual effect. You don't want to really banish the Thunder Dragons, the regular Thunder Dragons, if you don't have to, because these other cards have effects when they get banished. So you want to take advantage of the effects. But it lets you banish one from the hand and then one from the deck. Most of the time, you're going to be banishing Dragon Roar from the deck, because Dragon Roar lets you special summon a Thunder Dragon from the deck to the field, and this will let you go into an easy Colossus. The next card you might be saying, why is that in there, is maybe Gold Sarcophagus. This card, again, insane with Thunder Dragons, but if you watched any of my other videos, this card also interacts really well with Tragedy, which we have a one of, just to give us the versatility of being like, hey, we don't have Alibur and we don't have our fusion in our hand. We can use Gold Sarcophagus to get Tragedy, and we can do what we need to do with that. But if you have an option, let's say you can't do Colossus and go into Colossus turn one, because this card shuts them down way more than this card does. So I just want you to think, just make sure you set it in defense mode. 2,400 bodies still big enough. It's not going to get run over that easily. Terraform is just it's a fourth Despia Theater. Chaos Space. This is the most interchangeable card in the deck. Chaos Space is literally just to search out the Chaos Creator, Thunder Dragon Duel. Think of it as like one of these, and it also lets us pitch a card to the graveyard to help with the banishing. It's interchangeable, and when I say that is if you want this deck to, you might want to look at like putting Lightning Storms in the deck. Replace these cards, put Lightning Storms in the deck. Or replace these cards, put Dimensional Shifter in the deck, because he's a really good hand trap, I think, for this archetype. But I just want you to remember, if you make your deck better at going second, you instinctively become worse at going first. So if Chaos Space, let's say you're going first and the Chaos Space is now a Lightning Storm, and you needed Chaos Space to go into your turn one combo to get your cards out. Guess what? Now your turn one isn't very turn one-y. That's what I'm trying to say. So just think about that. But yeah, this is definitely, you change out for Lightning Storm if you want, or whatever card. This is the most interchangeable card in the list. Thunder Dragon Fusion, we got a one of. We usually get it out with Predaplant I don't think you need more than one because a lot of the Thunder Dragon, like this, you can special summon it without using fusion, and this you could special summon without using fusion too. So you don't need multiple. If this was a pure Thunder Dragon strategy, maybe we run like 2 or 3, but it's not. So we're running 1. Alert of Darkness, no brainer. Insanely good in this deck. It does everything we want. Plus, it's a drawer. Lets us dig deeper in the deck. So yeah, I mean, the creator, you might be saying, hey, why is this in there? He's just a level 8. He's a level 8. Plus, he has a really good effect, which allows you to just special summon from something from your banished. But the level 8's important. We're going to go over that in the extra deck. We have number 97 Drag. And this is our one-shot combo. We can OTK opponents very easily with this. Remember, if you're playing Despia and you have Dramaturge, you can always use it, diffuse, using Dramaturge into Quartus. Use Quartus' effect, make all their attacks 0, and Dramaturge comes back from the graveyard or banish when used for a fusion. And then you get to XZ summon and then hit them for 9k because they're monster 0 attack. So that's a play that you could always do. And it's practically almost like, think of it as like a 2-card combo. It doesn't take that much effort. The other cards here that you might want to go over, Starving Venom, kind of like an odd, but it's still a really good card, especially if your opponent has a really large special summoned monster. It's a board wipe for your opponent's special summoned monsters if it gets destroyed. So there's a lot of good reasons to run Starving Venom, even if you don't run Super Poly. You might ask, why do we got Striker Dragon? We're not running anything. It's just to send this to the graveyard. Field to the graveyard, you can add 1 to your hand. Use Thunder Dragon Roar. Special summon Thunder Dragon Matrix. Matrix goes into Striker Dragon. Get another Matrix from the deck. Normal summon the Matrix. Now you can go into Predaplant and you have options for Thunder Dragon Fusion. So it's just for a versatile play. The link summons aren't as important. Predaplant's the only important one. Some Summer is okay. I actually haven't really even used this. I played like 30, 40 games with this deck and I haven't used it at all. Mainly because we're doing a lot of, I think, the Despian strategies. So like I just never found he was very awkward to use. So if you wanted to replace him, you could. But the main cards in the extra deck you need, if you're like, hey, what can I cut on? I would say Thunder Dragon Colossus, Starving Venom, Quartus, Titan. There's no brainer. I mean, it's a rare. You should just keep it in the extra deck. And the number 100, number 38, number 97, and Predaplant. Everything. That being said, I mean, the deck's really fun. Is it the best Despian deck? No, it's definitely not. I think the Dark Lord one's better, but it's really fun. And if you already have the Thunder Dragon cards built, it's gonna be obviously really cheap to make. And I went probably like 60%, maybe 65% win rate in Plat with the deck. So you can definitely climb the Plat 1 with it fairly easy. It really depends too. Like if you're going first, you win most of your games going first. Going second just feels fucking horrible. I'm not gonna kid you guys. It does not feel good going second. Some of the other decks that I made this week, going second felt good. The deck was a going second deck. This just is not it. Maybe if we add some type of we had Super Polys with Fallen of Albaz, and we change the strategy up a bit, maybe. But then, is it really a Thunder Dragon deck then? I don't know. Let me know how you guys think and what you guys might change on the list. I'm not 100% sold on the list, but this is what I've been playing. Look forward to hearing what you guys say, and thank you. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. It's blessed rains down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things I would never have.